Hi, I'm Corey.
I'm Laura.
And I'm Dave.
And this is our point of view.
Okay. I got a couple different subjects to go over with you, both of you. Let's start with evolution and creationism. Can they be linked?
Me personally, I didn't come from a fish.
But could that have been part of God's plan to create, like a let's take Legos for instance. You have to have a starting point to build a house from a Lego, correct?
Right.
Okay.
God being the building point.
Yeah, that's the point.
Okay.
God's the building point. So could it be possible that the fish or the amoeba or whatever it came from, can that be the starting point of the building block to create humans?
Well, the Bible says that God created man in his image.
Mm-hmm.
Man in his image, not fish in his image.
Mm-hmm.
So no. That's not it.
Me personally, I believe in evolution.
Mm-hmm.
And as far as us humans, I feel like we evolved from, say, the Homo sapiens state to where we are now.
Mm-hmm.
And who knows what our future may be.
Right.
So,
Well, it does, scientifically it says that in order for a species to survive, they have to evolve. But that's a big stretch, evolving from a fish to a human.
But do you believe there's a chance that it could be connected?
Honestly, it goes against all the grain that I was taught, and I really honestly do not believe that we
That it's
came
even
from
possible.
a fish or a primate.
I
Doesn't
don't
sit well.
more or less think you can pick one specific animal and say, this animal can evolve or this animal can't evolve. I think it may be luck of the draw. Say, okay, let me think of a good example. It was an animal that came out of the sea. It started in the sea, and now it's a land animal. What was it? It had a tail and everything, and it evolved to another state. I can't necessarily remember what it was, but it's possible though. Like
It
you
is
said,
possible.
like you said, we didn't come from a fish, but we may came from something else. We may evolve from something else. So it's
Well, you've heard the primate one.
Right. I've heard it.
Primate's a different species. It's a cousin of Homo sapiens, not a branch of Homo sapiens.
Right.
So, but in this, since you brought up primates, okay, we have 98% same genomes as a primate.
Mm-hmm.
So, and humans, of course, we think we're the smartest beings alive.
right.
There's nothing more intellectual than a human being.
Right.
Okay, and we're only 2% difference in our genomes. So maybe we're not as smart as we think we are. Because if we're looking at chimpanzees as not as intelligent as us, and we're only 2% made up of more genomes than they are, are we really that smart? Or are we just smarter than our next closest cousin?
We're just smarter than our next closest cousin.
Well, we have speech and other social skills that they don't use.
Mm-hmm.
So we have, if that's what we did, we have evolved further. So we are more intelligent.
Than the
We
chimpanzee.
can build,
but we
can build structure. We can provide heat.
Mm-hmm.
We can communicate with language.
Mm-hmm.
So that's more of a little bit of a
But
higher
if there are other
intelligence.
beings out there, could that possibly be that they could be, and they can't contact us because of course we can't talk to a chimpanzee.
Right.
So perhaps they're out there, but they can't talk to us because they're just that much smarter than we are.
I agree with that. But back to what you were saying, as far as the chimpanzees, they communicate amongst each other.
Right.
So they do have their own language. I think they know how to build, say, I don't know, some type of structure for them to live in, or I don't know, they could just live in the jungle. I don't know. So on their level, you know what I'm saying, and you compare us to their level, I figure they're right there with us, in a sense.
But we have technology, we have automobiles, stuff like that.
Right.
We have
out of necessity.
But we have evolved further. If your argument is that we come from
But could we are but thinking that maybe out of the entire universe that we're the most intelligent.
That's pompous. I'm not saying we're the most intelligent. I'm saying that we have evolved further than what the chimpanzees that are living in the forest or wherever they live. Because we have more social. I mean, they are social. They are social.
So we're just doing it by comparison.
Right.
Compared to them, we're smarter. But all I'm saying in a universal aspect, perhaps we're not as smart as we think we are, simply because we have 2% more genomes than a chimpanzee.
Right. We have 2% more genomes, but we don't know how much more that would equate to how much brain power you use. Because I'm not a scientist, I don't know. I'm just saying, I didn't come from fish, that's all.
But back to the fish, since you brought that up, you don't believe there's any possibility that
fish are really stupid. You do know that, right?
But that could have been the building blocks towards evolution of humans through a higher power.
That would have taken. I mean, if that's what you think, you know how many thousands of years that you would have to come from an unintelligent species.
Well, I think the
like
Earth.
a fish.
I think the Earth
it's that old.
It is that old.
I think the Earth is something like
old.
3 billion years old.
And it would have to be a 3 billion year old stretch because they are not smart.
But it's plausible.
I mean, what is the size of the brain of a fish, too?
But we're not. You keep going back.
But you are, because you're saying that they evolved from this. This is, I mean,
right?
No. I don't more or less think you evolve from a fish to a human. I think you evolve from one state of a fish, say, to another state. Or if you take like the caterpillar, you evolve from a caterpillar to a butterfly.
That's metamorphosizing.
What?
That's a little bit different. But anyway, it is. I see what you're saying. I do see what you're saying. But to me, I think it's too big of a stretch.
Right.
Because they have like 2 brain cells to rub together.
But you keep going back to the basics of it.
Right. But that's what evolution is.
Right. But don't all building blocks have a basis to it? You don't start with the house. You start with the brick. You don't say this. You can't hold up.
But you start with the foundation,
right?
And if you don't have, if your fish is your foundation,
but you're holding the brick up, and you're saying this brick cannot be a house because it's a brick.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying a long stretch.
Right, because that's what it would take to build something, right? A house.
Very long stretch.
Right. So, but it could be plausible.
Well, maybe if we didn't use a fish as an example.
That's what scientists use.
Right.
Well, actually, they use amoeba, like a sludge almost.
Right.
And then a fish.
Wow.
Yeah,
I can imagine that.
And then a fish.
But I know some people that are sludges, though, so I could imagine that.
That's a possibility.
It's a possibility. I would like to put some salt on them.
So you just can see no way that it could even remotely
I think that even if that were the case, it would have to have been a far more intelligent species that we evolved from. Okay. Because that is just sludge.
Yeah, sludge.
What is, I mean, never mind. I was going to say, what is their scientific founding on sludge and us? I mean, how did they come to that determination that we came from a pile of mud?
Because it was the amoeba, the bacteria in the sludge.
So now we're bacteria.
Right.
We're even lower than sludge.
Well, from that,
we're the bacteria.
From that, it went to an amoeba, and from an amoeba, which then went to becoming fish, and then fish to land.
It doesn't seem like a crazy scenario.
It's hard to make the comparison though, from a sludge to standing upright, talking, communicating.
Yeah.
But if you're saying that you have an all-powerful being, and you're saying that he's all-powerful, why could he not do that?
If he was all-powerful, wouldn't it make more sense for him just to create?
A human. I agree with you on that. Yeah.
What do you create it out of?
His image?
His image made of. I mean, how? Just explain how that you think that's possible.
We are created in the image of God. This is
Right.
God, a being.
Right. I'm not asking that. I'm asking, from what point? How do you take something that's not there and make it there?
God is there.
Right. He's there. I'm not talking about God himself.
Would you just ask me how he created it in his?
He created. What did he create out of? He created out of nothing.
He's God. He creates everything.
I'm saying, what did he create it from?
You said, what's his base?
What's his product? What's his brick? What brick did he use?
I don't know. You'd have to ask God that question.
Well, I'll have to be on the next show.
Next show we'll have God right here. Special guest.
Mark that down on your calendar.
Stay tuned.
Okay. We have, in the United States, religious affiliation has dropped statistically. Could that be from people back from, the beginning of time until probably the 20th century, that their people's lifespan was less and that they felt the need to have something else in their short lifespan? Or is it from today's information and technology that people have decided to not claim to be religious?
That could be possible, your theory. Or, I don't know. I think we all start off religiously at a certain point, and then I guess when you acquire knowledge, you may be more religious, or you may stray away from it. I don't know. Me personally, I went to church all the time when I was young. I was religiously based in church, and as of now, it's important. It's very much important, but I don't put as much emphasis on religion.
Do you think like maybe learning more, the acquisition of knowledge changes anything? As far as
because now I think, in a sense, I'm starting to see the man behind the curtain. You know what I'm saying? Like when I was younger, it was fed to me. I don't know. I don't want to be blasphemy or nothing, but when you were younger, that's all you were taught. Right? You didn't question it, and then like the minute you question it, you start to view it totally different.
Right.
So that's my take on it.
Laura?
I can see that, but I would say to you that I don't think that religion's. I mean, I know they say that it's dropped. Maybe formal religion's dropped. I think that people are opening their minds more to like seeing what religion is a better fit for them,
Right.
or not, and that might be why there's a drop in certain religions. Like I know that there's been an increase in Catholicism since we have this new pope, and younger people surprisingly are flocking to the church more because they like that fit. They like what he has to say, and I think maybe that's what it is.
But the statistics show that formal religions such as Catholics or Baptists, that their members have dropped.
But
and atheists and agnostics have risen.
But does that take into consideration the religions that are like not of any religion? You know what I'm talking about? Those ones that you can go to and it's supposed to be non-denominational.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
So does that take into consideration the ones that have left
the
formal religion?
Yeah,
but non-denominational is not a
It takes on all statistics of all churches and all people that go to a fixed church. That's what it's accounting. And the people that claim that they don't, and on some that don't believe and some that still kind of believe, that's the statistics they're using. And I'm just wondering, he thinks that maybe that information seems to help as far as for dropping.
I believe.
And perhaps not the lifespan of people in history, since they had a shorter life. You have to believe I would think you would have to believe in something's got to be more. If you're only going to live to the age of 35, you have to think there has to be more.
Well, I think you hit on something too, both of you. With the technology, also, you can research anything and get it. It's in your fingertips. if you have any doubt there, and then you see something that supports that there may not be, you may go that way. But I think also being older, that lifespan, you have a longer time to question.
Right.
So you believe
The
maybe that
older
does
that
play
you
a part in
get,
it too?
yeah, the longer that you live, that you may. But a lot of times in your youth, I don't know how many years that would be, because some people consider themselves youthful at 40, still adolescent.
Right. That's true.
But then when you get older, I think a lot of people go back to their religion because they're
Is that because they're
like
closer
what you
to
said,
death?
Right.
because they're closer to
Right.
death, and they want.
And that's what I was bringing up
They
in
want
history.
to, they
because
want to
they
get
were-
straight with
Right,
the
right,
Lord
right.
before they
Right. I agree with that.
enter.
And I value myself as, I think I'm more spiritual than I am religious now. But back then I was more religious.
Right.
So
Yeah.
All right. I'm Dave.
I'm Corey,
I'm Laura.
and this is our point of view.
You all right?
Yeah. Just kick my